Hey folks, Lester here, and I want to thank you for joining me today on a little video where we're going to focus on none other than little Gary. Tex, thank you for that pretty smile. You have wonderful teeth. Oh, he has some gorgeous teeth. Can y'all believe how white and pretty his teeth are? And then we'll also talk about the other bulls, but not so much today. We're going to focus on little Gary. Guys, I am working diligently on setting up a vet appointment and a new living arrangement for our wonderful rescue bull, our shorthorn bull, little Gary. Now, don't get me wrong. Gary is doing fine here at J&L Ranch. He is. He's doing fine. He gets along really well with Waylon. They're actually, I think, kind of friends. But Waylon will not always be in this pasture with Gary. Gary will have to forever stay in this one particular pasture, whereas there'll be several months of the year where Waylon and Tex will be able to go back and intermingle with their prospective ladies based on whose bloodline is who. And so we want to make sure that Gary also has a chance to experience the best life possible. And guys, I don't mean this in a nasty way, but we all know that we need a partner. Everyone needs a partner. It's nice to have friends, but what we need, our bodies, our minds, our hearts, we need a partner. And I want to find a way for Gary to have his very own partner where he's not going to be harassed or picked on or bullied by larger and stronger bulls. And I think we have a solution in mind. Anytime you talk about stuff like this with, well, I'll just say it, Gary is a favorite. Gary's one of your favorites. I know that. You love his story, and you're afraid, y'all. You are afraid that you're going to lose a piece of his story if, in fact, he's not being videoed every single day by me. But I think that we got to sometimes stop being so selfish and think about Gary's well-being and Gary's best life, not our own personal interest. So let me just start off with that right there, and then we'll get into the video. Well, friends, Lester here, and what I've done today is come out and I used my Bush Hog, my brush hog on my tractor, and we mowed the pasture here where the ABC donkeys live. That would be Andy, Brandon, and Seaward. Now, I don't know if Megan and Ellie changed their names officially or if that was just kind of a joke. But anyway, this is the pasture where Seaward, Brandon, and Andy live. It has that small pond here on the back side of it. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. And you're probably not going to like this, but at this point, I don't really... Well, ultimately, I like to make you happy, but I understand I'm not going to win this argument with the majority of you. But this is the pasture where I'm going to move little Gary and Trinity through the fall and the winter. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to zoom in. There is a very nice sized shelter straight up ahead of us. You can see it over there. It is a 24 by 24. It has fresh water. There's also another section of the barn over here, which is a 32 by 12, which is a very large section, right there beside our hay barn. There's fresh water in these pastures. There's also a pond, a natural water supply over here, which we haven't had much rain, so understand the pond is very low right now. But I always like to give the cows and horses an option. They can sometimes will choose to have the fresh water from the water hose, or sometimes they like to have this over here. And so as long as they have an option, then I'm completely fine with that. Look at all the little fish jumping around. But I've come over to go ahead and mow it. We've had It's been a blessing in the fact that the little donkeys have been able to come over here and live here, and they've been gentled down a lot by Ellie and Megan, and even Jake plays around with them a little bit. And but there's still way too much grass for these 3 little donkeys. We also know that little Gary is needs to be moved somewhere off of that bullpen. We're going to have, at some point, we're going to have the need to relocate our bulls into the pasture with our females. And so we're going to always have an issue with what to do with little Gary during that time of year. And so this is the sanctuary. This is I'm a Survivor. And this is the place where a lot of our babies who have been rescues belong. So I wanted to come out today and kind of work in the pastures a little bit and kind of let you guys see what we're working on, why I like this. So little Gary, for the time being, will be sharing a pasture with the 3 little donkeys. Along with Trinity, I believe. That's the one cow we're going to move over with him. And then I know a lot of people are going to ask about this back 5-acre pasture over here. And yes, absolutely, by next spring, I'm hoping to be able to open this up for little Gary as well. I'll have to come by and do a little bit of fencing along this side over here. You can see where the hurricane flood has pushed some of the fence posts over, and they need to be all straightened up, reset in the ground. And if the little donkeys are going to join, I'll need to probably add 1 more strand of wire for the donkeys not to be able to crawl through. But that's not here or now. That's later on, next year into the spring. But there's also a pond in that pasture as well. But for the fall and the spring, I really do think that this will be the best place for little Gary to come. More shelter, where he has his very own shelter, not having to share with Tex and Waylon. He'll have a little partner in Trinity who will keep him company. He also has the little ABC donkeys who he'll share a pasture with. He will get, well, there's fresh hay that we will keep out. We always keep rolls of hay out over here. Not to mention we have green hay that Ellie will toss over in the mornings. And of course, grains every afternoon. So this is the future home of little Gary. Now, eventually, once we get our vets all lined out, and we do hope this is going to be sooner rather than later, they'll start making house calls again. And whenever they're ready, they will come out and take care of the procedure for little Gary to have him neutered, castrated. And so little Gary will be able to live here harmoniously with our little littles, and our middles. And then, in a worst case scenario, if we ever do have a flooding situation, not to worry, we have an amazing loading chute over here, right there with us. Side-by-sides part, and this will be the spot where little Gary will live out the rest of his days. I do come to the sanctuary about once a week. Of course, I sometimes come more during the summer when Lex is here. I want to show you what I run over. I'm so upset with Jake and Ellie, but they come out here trying to clean this pond at some point, and someone left the rubber boots. So they will go around those. But I did not see this laying here in the high grass. I run over it, and I'm pretty sure I have a lot of that rope there wrapped up in the bottom of my Bush Hog. I don't know why the boys do this. Jake and Ellie have always had that problem. In my opinion, kind of irresponsible. I don't know how much this cost them, but shouldn't be laying out here in the pasture, in the high grass especially. I'll show you what else they left out here, and I'm glad that I saw it when I did, because I would have run over it and it would have tore something up. But here is that drag that I pull behind my side-by-side when I want to clean my pastures up. Yeah, right here in the high grass. That's not where it belongs. Can y'all see it? It's kind of camouflaged in there, but I was able to swerve and miss it, and luckily I did. That would have really tore something up. I don't know for sure, but I can guarantee you I have a whole lot of this rope wrapped up in this Bush Hog. What I'll do is go up to the barn and raise it as high as I can, and then peek underneath there and cut out what I have to. I really can't see from here, and I don't want to get on my belly. Anywho, this is going to be the future home of little Gary. You're going to have all kinds of people who are going to want to fight and argue with me. And I'm already prepared for that. I don't really have to prepare at all. Ultimately, I'm the one who's here. I am the man in the arena. I'm the one who likes to ask for advice and opinions, but ultimately the decision rests with me and Jamie, and in this case with Ellie and Megan. Now, I think the last thing I will address before I leave you on this particular video is the fact that you're going to say, Ellie does not like large animals. Ellie does not work well with large animals. Well, Ellie was just about kicked in the head by Jamie's horse Dixie years ago. And that's always left a scar on Ellie. And I don't blame him. He was not doing anything. It was just Dixie running by playing. Ellie was sitting down on the ground playing with Ringo, making a video. And the horse ran by, I don't even know why, and did a side kick and just came inches from Ellie's head and face. And so ever since that day, Ellie's just been terrified. But we talked to Ellie a little bit about it to make sure it was okay with him, and he assures me that it will not be a problem at all to throw over a few flakes of hay in the mornings and then come out and put over a scoop of grain in the afternoons. The last thing we got to think about is this area right through here. Now listen, we don't want to mow this area right now. I know what you're thinking. This looks horrible. It's sloppy. It's a bunch of weeds. Yes, it is. Friends, this area has not been grazed in months, like 6 months. And so we want this area to grow up. We want it to have all this dirt covered up. And then by next spring, we'll come back out and we will be able to cut it and mow it and hopefully get some grass growing over here and taking all the animals off of it. Hi, boys. Haven't y'all gentled down some? I've been seeing people feed y'all. Oh, really? Really? Okay, that's not very nice. That's not very nice, Andy. Well, it is time to go under the lawnmower, the Bush Hog, and see what our damages look like. Oh boy, looky here. I hope this does not fall down on me. You don't like doing this because these things have been known. You could have a hydraulic fail and this whole thing come tumbling down. Let's hope that does not happen here. But I have to get this thing untangled. And so, I tell you what, it is wrapped up in there pretty darn good, Lester. I don't think I can pull it out from here. I could probably cut it. See, my hands don't really reach around up inside of there. So I may have to just cut it right there because I'm not going to be able to grab any more. And I think that will be okay. I'll just cut it right here. Friends, I know how much you love this property. And of course, don't forget that we found little Gary here back in December. And he was literally on death's doorstep, I think is the expression. We got him back to health and he's doing wonderful. He will forever and ever have a bum leg. And so we're not going to ever be able to have him out on the pastures with the cows whenever they're in the breeding season. The bulls will also become a whole lot more, not quite so amicable with him whenever there's hormones involved. And so the best way, and this is my honest opinion, the best way to give little Gary his best life is to give him a move where he has no competition. He has one little lady friend is all he needs. He'll have his own little feed buggy if we need to. We'll have green hay in the morning, dry hay throughout the day, green grass in the spring and the summer. And I really do think that you'll be pleased. I hope that you'll just give us some grace and a chance to see. Friends, if it doesn't work out, if for some reason it just does not happen, then we'll by all means bring Gary back over here where he needs to be, where you would probably want him to be. But we have to give him a chance and give it a shot. So we ask for your support. And if nothing else, if you can't encourage and support us on this, then at least just try to sit quiet and watch. But there'll be tons of video content about little Gary. A lot of that will come from Ellie and Megan. You're welcome to switch over and jump over and see how they do and what they're going to do with little Gary. But they're excited about it. We're excited about it. And even though it'll be kind of sad for a lot of us here at first, I think that you'll be pleased over time. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for loving. And thank you for allowing us to take this opportunity to at least try to find little Gary's best life. Thank y'all for watching. We love you so much. We're blessed to have you. And we'll catch you in the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.